I just float with it. Fuck what you did, I'm at your throat with it. You can learn something, take a note with it. Dedicated my life, I took an oath with it. For the blood of my brothers, we don't do no switching. I run with who I run with, ain't no clicking. Try me, do you done with no decision. Lead a scene like a Mack truck with 4 collisions. Polls everywhere, but they ain't gon' vote dissing. Coming at you live and direct, I don't do no dissing.
Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatam, Yahweh Shema Alatham Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. All right, Shalom, this is Real Time Revelations. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back to this Monday, episode 11. All right, we 11 episodes in. You know what I'm saying? We're going strong. We're keeping this thing rolling. Shalom to everybody, you know what I'm saying, that's tuning in. Make sure if you're tuning in, make sure you follow the channel. You know what I'm saying? So you can get this show. I do this show every Monday and Thursday. You can also, of course, we drop, short videos on this channel as well. You know what I'm saying, very consistently. So make sure you're following the channel, following all ISUPK UK social medias. You know, we on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you are, I'm sure we have a channel on there. All right. So make sure y'all look for the school and follow us. All right. Now, what I want to go into on today's show. Now, this is something I saw recently, and we even kind of made a short video about this on our TikTok, right? But I wanted to go into a bit more detail about, we all know Vybz Kartel, especially, Benjamites. Every Benjamite, knows Vybz Kartel. There was a real pop in the dancehall scene. Now, there's a video that I seen recently, and I'm gonna just share the video before I kind of go into it. I'm gonna break it down while we watch it. All right. So I'm gonna break down, you know what I'm saying, obviously there's stuff that we see on the surface level, and then there's stuff that we understand on the spiritual level. All right. So we're gonna get into it. All right. Shalom, everybody that's watching, and Thawada for tuning in. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get this video up. 1 second. All right, let's get this thing up and pause it. So I should be sharing. No, it's not sharing. Let me get it up now. Okay. All right, so y'all should see this video right here. All right. So I'm going to play on.
There's a nation, cock your ears. This is not for una. You know where I'm a woman, fiance, and my little son Ikodan will go Panama, do a little shopping and thing, and have a little vacation and bring my son, as I say.
So he went to Panama. He went on a little vacation with his fiance. Now, for those of y'all who don't know who his fiance is, we're gonna get into that a little bit later. But Vybz Kartel, his fiance, is some old Turkish woman. Some broad from Turkey, some Edomite. You know what I'm saying? Or they would call him what, spicy white? Something like that. Some Edomite woman. All right, he went and got engaged to her. All right, so he took this woman out, and I think he said his son out to Panama. They went out, went for a holiday, went shopping. Vybz Kartel, he was popping in the dancehall scene. He's got all this money, all this bread, all this wealth, so he enjoyed himself, especially now, being out of prison. All right, we're gonna play on.
Little added it there as well, but I never really made him go with. We just happen to be on the same flight, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I really see them, I couldn't go. Alright, I don't know I couldn't give him one. You remember how much money me gave, but it was a lot.
And when he says him, a lot of times, okay, Jamaicans just call everybody him. Almost similar to the Bible, like the Bible's written in a very masculine sense. A Jamaican will call a woman like him for some reason. I don't know why exactly, but that's just Jamaican culture. It's very on the kind of masculine side. All right. So when he says I gave him, give him 30,000 or whatever figure he gives, right? He's talking, referring to his woman.
And we can see them some money to me. I know maybe I say 30,000 US or something along the line, the 28,000. And when we did go shopping, she said, "Oh, these things are so expensive." And when I said, "Babes, you have the money. Anything you want, just buy. I got you."
So he's got all this money. He gave a 28 to 30,000 USD, like to just go shopping, buy what she wants. He gave her all this bread. You know what I'm saying? Now he's married to this, or he's engaged to this Turkish woman. Why not get with a sister and give her that bread to spend? a sister that's was in the struggle with you, never really had no bread like that. You come up, you're giving all this money, 28, 30 grand USD to some old Edomite woman. Like, why not share this wealth and this experience and this lifestyle with your own people? It's something I'm gonna get into with Cartel, especially. Anybody that dates outside their race really has a hatred for black people. You can't you can't be married to another nation and say you love black people at the same time. It just doesn't correlate. I think there's a saying, there's a very well-known saying that actions speak louder than words. So you could say, with your words that you love, I love black women, I love black this, that, I'm about black, I promote black people, but your actions is that you went and married or got engaged to, whether it be a white woman. You have a lot of high level, what's the word, high profile black men dealing with other nations' women. You're dealing with mainly white women, and you have those brothers to go over and get themselves an Asian woman because they watch too much damn anime. Listen, I like anime myself, but I love my sisters more than I love some old Moabite woman that gonna fry up some octopus for breakfast. Salaki. I don't, we see the things they eat. I couldn't even begin to fathom what their breath smells like. But yeah. Listen, a lot of our brothers, they once they get better money, they go right, they leave their sisters, they leave their people behind and go get themselves a white woman, go get themselves a Turkish woman, go get themselves, some Asian or some East Indian, you know what I'm saying? Rather than sticking with their own and bringing a black woman up or black women up, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play on.
Most expensive thing she buy was a purse, a Gucci purse for my mother. For about 2,600 US. That's the most expensive thing she buy. She's not a fussy girl,
And so he's praising this white woman, he's praying this white woman, saying, the most expensive thing she bought was some purse, some Gucci purse for his mom. All right, so she bought his mom a gift, and he's promoting that, saying, I gave her all this money, and the most expensive thing she bought was, some purse for about 2,600. You know what I'm saying? He's praising it for that. Okay, no sweat.
Yeah, I remember everybody want dress like like Una.
Good night. And he says, not everybody wants to dress like a whore, like Una. For those who don't understand Patois, Una means like you lot, right? Not everybody wants to dress like a whore, like y'all, like you lot, right? Good night. So, we got to think about who's he referring to. Mainly his, his audience. And now, this brother's, international, but you could tell by his spirit when he says, not everybody wants to dress like whores, like Una. He's talking about black women. He's talking about the women that would be, chastising this relationship or against this relationship because, black women want black men to be with a black woman. All right, black women that have some sense, they have some sort of loyalty. Whenever a black woman sees a man with another race of woman, it hurts her, and it should, because that brother has just he's betraying. You betray your own people when you go with another race. You show that you hate your people when you go with another race. Like, he's saying what black women dress like whores and they're whores. I can guarantee there's, thousands and millions of black women who don't dress like whores. You can find yourself one of them. You got all these women that, they know who you are because you're Vybz Kartel. You telling me you couldn't find, a black woman that doesn't dress like a whore? I understand that, I'm in the ISUPK. There's plenty of our sisters in the ISUPK that don't dress like whores. All right. I'm me personally, I'm gonna get myself, some of those women. All right, but I'm not gonna go say, y'all dress like whores, I'm gonna go with some Turkish broad. Y'all dress like whores, I'm gonna go with some, some other nation. No, you correct your people. You correct your people instead. Don't just abandon them and leave them, then give, everything you have over to some other nation. You stand by your brothers and sisters. All right. I'm gonna play on a little further. So, it says, not everybody wants to dress like whore, like honor.
Fussy girl, Yeah, I mean, but everybody wants dress like whore, like Uno. You know what I mean? Yeah, some people just good with them modest dressing and things.
And he says, some people are just good with their modest dressing. So he's praising this woman, this Turkish broad, saying, oh, she dressed so modest. And it ain't nothing. She just dresses, I'm gonna show you a picture of how she dresses. She just dresses kind of like like a bum. Like there's nothing special. There's nothing fantastical about the way she dresses. She just dresses, regular. And here's what I'm gonna say now. Vybz Kartel, like, I'm gonna show you a picture of how she dresses. This is this is them together. This is Vybz Kartel and Sidam, and she just dressed. She just dresses so modest. It's so amazing. She just dresses regular. It really ain't nothing special. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to see how our sisters in ISUPK dress. Our sisters know how to dress. Now to dress with some flavor, some style, and remain modest. That's what I look as modest. This is just she just threw on some football jersey and a pair of ripped jeans like that. There's nothing special about this. But something about Vybz Kartel. Now Vybz Kartel is a very famous dancehall artist, and the culture with dancehall. I'm sure for any of y'all who might not be, I'm sure y'all have heard all the music. The dancehall music is very much sexualized. The dancehall culture is very much dressing like a whore and grinding on this man and da 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 and being a whore. It very much promotes that lifestyle. So now, Vybz Kartel is promoting this lifestyle, and our sisters are listening to it. Our sisters are listening to it and dressing like Vybz Kartel tells them to dress. They're acting like Vybz Kartel tells them to act. But now he turns around and says, y'all are dressing like whores. Meanwhile, that's what he promotes. He turns around and says, y'all dress like whores. I want a modest woman. And that's why, you should never model your lifestyle or, kind of move your life around entertainers and rappers and musicians. You got, all these female rappers, Sexy Red and Cardi B. All they talk about is how many men they've slept with and this, that, and the third, and they shake the backside, at every given opportunity. Ice Spice, God, good night. You got Megan Thee Stallion and them. Like, they literally just, they sexualize themselves at every given opportunity. You don't want to model your lifestyle after that, because when you really look into it, now you're thinking, okay, you're going to dress this way and act this way because, Vybz Kartel and this artist and that artist, that's all they talk about on their songs. They'll have sex with that. They'll desire that, just, for a few moments. But that's, when you dress and you act promiscuously as a woman, no man respects that. No man can respect a whore. It just doesn't, a man can have sex with a whore, but he absolutely does not respect a whore. All right. So you definitely don't want to model your lifestyle and model yourself after, how these artists portray themselves and how they talk about women in the music, as if that's something they actually desire. When you look at the women they actually get with women who don't portray themselves really in that way. All right, that's not really what they want. They might desire for a short time, but those relationships or those situationships or those one night stands are very, very short lived. All right, I'm gonna get this out of the Bible. This is what you should understand, right? Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel. All right, now Israel is your so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That is Israel. There should be no whores among blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. But in this day and age, there are whores amongst us because everything about Black culture or Hispanic culture is just following our oppressor that enslaved us. Our oppressor enslaved us, took away our culture, took away our lifestyle, our laws, our commandments, knowledge of who we are, that we are God's chosen people, knowledge of our royal lineage, knowledge of our God. They took away all that. So all we had to look up to look at as, this is how we should act. We had our oppressor, and our oppressor is the biggest whore on the face of this earth. You look at how they operate. The oppressor, and these other nations are the biggest whores on the face of this earth. That's a fact. The biggest whores. You even look at these, East Indians, them East Indian women in them hijabs, and they dress so modest. They dress, they cover head to toe. Listen, it's hoes in them hijabs. It's 304s in them hijabs. You think they so modest and they so pure. They are absolutely 304s. They just, present themselves in a certain way. Like that Christian church. The same thing about that Christian church. They look so nice and so pristine from the outside, but when you look inside, you see whores in there. You see absolute, whoredom. I'm sure plenty of people could tell you stories about them East Indian women who, they in the hijab, you in the hijab, committed all sorts of acts. You even look at Mia Khalifa, doing what she did in the hijab. Like, good night. But this is what we should pay attention to. There shall be no whores of the daughter of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. So the same way, and Benjamites, you know how we look at sodomites. You know how we look at them, LGBTQ lifestyle. There's thousands of songs about, bun bye, and, I can't say because we're on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of songs against that lifestyle, but there's no songs against our sisters, not being whores. There's the far little songs about our sisters not being whores, being modest, being respectable, not, stepping out on your man. There's plenty of songs, damn near every dancehall song and every R&B song is about adultery, but there's no songs, there's no push in our culture, especially amongst Benjamites, for our daughters not to be whores. So this is what we fall into. This is the culture that our daughters are listening to. This is the music that gets played in every single club. This is what we're listening to. And then our sisters become whores. Then Vybz Kartel turns around, gets himself some old Turkish broad and says, not everybody wants to dress like whores, like Una. You know what I'm saying? This, not only should we be against sodomy, according to the Bible, we should be against our daughters and our sisters being whores. We should be absolutely against this. We should not push this in our music, not push this in our media. We should get rid of them video vixens, man. Just whoring out your own sisters. For what? For views? Because these brothers is weak and all they want to see, is just some broad shaking a tail. But they would never really, be with this woman longer than a few hours. Once they done doing what they do, they can't stand this woman. She talk too much, she this, she that. Like they itching to get out of the bed, once the deed is done. But they'll desire you, they'll be all over you for that short time. But once it's over, I'm sure sisters is, y'all know stories. Y'all know people who, they dress this way, they get all this attention, sure, but that attention don't last. You want to be a sister, listen, if you just, and every sister desires attention. Who doesn't desire attention? Y'all want a man to desire you. That's absolutely fine, but y'all don't want it to be short-lived. It's not, it's a terrible thing for that desire to be short-lived. Y'all want a man to desire you for a lifetime, to desire you not just for your body, but for your mindset, for how you are. Y'all can laugh together. Share certain things with each other, man. Y'all want that desire to be long-lived. Don't listen to any of these artists telling you to act this way and act that way and dress this way and come get with me and spend all this, I'll spend all this money. You got You got hundreds of songs about, I'll take, even Pop Smoke saying I'll take you on a shopping spree. All these songs about Birkin bags and Chanel and this, that, and the third. They telling you to be just a whore and materialistic. But they know for a fact that's not what they want. That's not what they're going to desire long term. So they're teaching you to be they're teaching you to be their short term pleasure. That's what they're teaching you to do. That's what Vybz Kartel taught you to do, to be his short term pleasure, which I'm sure he enjoyed, when he popping. But now he ready to settle down and get engaged. He wants a woman that's absolutely nothing like everything he has promoted. All right, I'm gonna get another scripture. Leviticus 19 and verse 29. It says, "Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore." We should not be promoting or not be allowing our daughters to become whores. We should not be promoting our sisters. We make all this music. We operate how we operate. Our young girls are listening to this music, watching how we move. They're taking what we do for their example. You know what I'm saying? So we should not prostitute our daughters to cause her to be a whore. Right now, in this day and age, this oppressor, that so-called Jewish man that runs the music industry, the music that promotes whoredom, that's the only thing he pushing. The music that promotes a black man, unaliving each other, that's the only thing he pushing. He don't push no positive message. He ain't behind that. He wants us destroyed. He wants our brothers selling narcotics, unaliving each other, and he wants our sisters to be whores and loose and sexually liberated. Even that whole sexual liberation movement that comes from watching the white woman, who, again, I repeat, is the biggest whore on the face of this planet. The biggest 304 on this earth is that damn, white woman. But and then we watched her, our sisters watched her in that sexual liberation movement, and they want to be like her so bad because we don't have our own self-esteem. We get our self-esteem from her. We get our self-esteem when our hair is straight and we talking about inches and this weave and that weave. We get our self-esteem when whenever we just look and act like them. Even the whole BBL thing. Listen, our sisters do not need no BBLs. Our sisters are already built like that. Y'all are built good. Give yourselves a hand. Y'all are just built good. Y'all are built better than every woman, on every other nation woman on the face of this earth. They go to Turkey and get them BBLs. Why the hell is you already have you already have assets, but you're gonna take your behind over to Turkey to get BBL, just like that oppressor woman. Listen, man, we gotta absolutely stop following these other nations and stop acting like they act. They allow them to be the whores, allow them to be the 304s. Let blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians be the example for modesty. That's what we should be. You look in the ISUPK and you see examples, you see the example of modesty. You see the example of beauty, not just focused on, how big your backside is and posting yourself on social media for all these views and attention and likes and clicks. Worry about your mindset. How is your mindset? Because you could look absolutely stunning. And that brother, he'll desire you, but once he gets that thing off, and now he thinking straight. Once he gets what he wants, that short-term pleasure. Once he get that, once y'all are done, once he washes his hands, takes a shower, you're thinking in that shower, I cannot stand this woman. Even how she gave it up so easy, I can't respect this woman. We can't look at that lifestyle as the example, man. You look in the eyes, you want to know how you should act as a woman. You want to know how you can learn how to be a woman that is desired, not just short term, but long term, for life. You want to be desired for life? You come into the ISUPK and learn how to be a sister that is desired for life. All right. Now let me see. I think I'm gonna drop the Chrome. I'm gonna get back on the video. I'm gonna run it back a little bit. I've got more on this video. Give me 1 second. Let me run it back. I'm running back to what he says about about you black women, that the lifestyle that he promotes. Meanwhile, he turns around and says this.
And when we did go shopping, she has said, "Oh, these things are so expensive." And when I said, "Babes, you have the money. Anything you want, just buy. I got you." You know the most expensive thing she buy was a purse, a Gucci purse for my mother. About 2,600 US. That are the most expensive.
So again, he's praising this Turkish broad for not buying something too expensive, buying his mum a gift. Meanwhile, what they push on our sisters is to spend. You give a sister 28 grand, 30 grand, and tell her to spend it. She's going to listen to you and spend it. Good night. She's gonna buy go crazy. She's gonna buy all the things that y'all talk about in them songs that she should go and buy. That's what she's going to buy because she listens to you. She listens to you telling her to go and buy that Chanel bag. Go and, I'll buy you a Birkin bag. I'll buy you this. I'll buy you that. She listens to you. So when you give her your money, she's going to go and buy that. But these other women, they don't look at black people as anything. They don't listen to us. They don't follow what we say. They don't, they try and be like us because we're the salt of the earth, but they don't listen to what we say and take it seriously. To them, entertainers are just that, entertainers. This is entertainment. I can laugh, I can joke, but I'm gonna get back to reality. For us, we see these entertainers as damn role models. Like we should be like them. We should listen to the things they say. We should buy that Birkin bag because this woman who's rich and famous and has all this expendable income, she buys a Birkin bag. Meaning you're working hard, 3 jobs, you can't barely afford to pay rent because you're putting everything towards a damn Birkin bag. Meanwhile, you can't afford to eat. Like, good night. We should see entertainers as entertainers, not role models. You want to see a role model, you look in the ISUPK and the commanding General Yohanna. You look at commanding General Yohanna himself. He is a role model for a black man. All right, I'm going to play on this video. What I'm saying? He praising her because she bought the most expensive thing she bought was 2,600. Because this broad, she don't listen to all the things that she don't listen to black men saying you should buy this and buy that. Because she ain't, she doesn't, a black woman will take things that a black man says seriously because she wants to be desired by a black man. But these are the nations, they have their own culture. They have their own way of things. They have their own, thing that they're proud of. Our women don't have that. Our brothers don't have that. So the only thing we able to look up to is what our oppressor pushes in our face. They have their own, they have their own history, their culture. They can go back to their culture and see their country and see how their people lived, their grandma, their this and their that, the culture that they've had for generations and generations. We don't have that. We can't see that. Us as a nation, we can't see that. But we do have it. We have our records. It's in the Bible. But in terms of, in this day and age, going back generations, we go, they go back generations and they have this, rich history of culture and this and that, all these traditions that were passed down from generation to generation. We go back in our history, we just landed slavery. And then prior to that, we don't know who we are. We are the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You see the chosen people of God, the Israelites that's in that Bible, that's how we acted. We had sisters like Sarah, Rebecca, who honored and respected their husbands. All right, that's the examples we should look at. Don't look in this media. Don't look at our social media. Our social media is a demon, and it's ran by a demon, the so-called Jewish man. It's ran by him. All right, I'm going to play on in this.
She buy. She's not a fussy girl, Yeah, I mean, but everybody wants just like like Uno. You know what I mean? Yeah, some people just good with them modest dressing and thing, and she good. Anything she want, me give her.
Anything she wants, I'll give to her. He's so entranced with this old Turkish broad. I'm saying that, anything she wants, I'll just give to her. Meanwhile, that black woman that you're calling a whore, she gets nothing. She gets nothing for listening to you. She's left with nothing because she absolutely listened to you, for how she should act. I'm going to play on in this video.
So, yeah. And no for now, I say I come here, I go for this one no more. But when I go up on no page.
So he's saying, you know, don't take it as I'm dissing you. Don't take it as if I'm, you know, just insulting you. But you know, that's exactly what it is he's doing.
This one no more. When I go up on no page, this is on a sufferer, on a hungry. So I'm not gonna add
Good night. And he's, you know, it's funny because he's just about to say he's not gonna add insult to injury, but this is exactly what he is doing. You know, he's saying, you know, I go on your pages and I see y'all suffering and hungry, meaning he sees the struggle that black women are going through, but he does nothing to help it. He does nothing to help it. He'll continue to push this message that you should be a whore and dress a whore, and then, you know, no man desires you long term, and you're struggling because, you know, you're going through this oppression alone. You have nobody to help you because you listen to Vybz Kartel, you shaked your backside, you had fun, but you didn't build any character. You didn't build any sort of integrity, any sort of, you know, you didn't build any personality aside from shaking your backside. You know what I'm saying? And this sister here, like she says, like you said, but society pushes the norm that we women should show our bodies, not knowing the body is a temple. That's a fact. That's a fact. And Vybz Kartel was part of that. You know, he made money off telling our women they should show off their bodies and you know, dance on everybody in the club and this, that, and third. But, you know, he never taught our women that our body is a temple. Every other nation, they have their culture and they love one another. So they're going to protect their women and tell their women that, you know, your body is precious. You shouldn't just give it around to everybody. They're going to tell them that. But we don't have that for our own people. Aside from the ISUPK. The ISUPK is the only organization that cares and loves Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, that will teach you how you're supposed to be. That will teach you how you should live to live a good lifestyle. All right? I'm going to play on the news.
Insult to injury. You know what I mean? Yeah. So said, my baby is good. Anything she want, I got her. Yeah, man, a rich life, man.
And he says, you know, not to add insult to injury. I see you're struggling, you're poor, you're this and you're that, but you know, not to add insult to injury, but you know, my baby, you know, this Turkish broad, you know, we living good. We live in this rich lifestyle, but not to add insult to injury. You know, I wouldn't want to, you know, God forbid I offend y'all, but you know, I see y'all broke and struggling and this and that, y'all dressing like whores and being passed around. I see that. But don't worry about it. Me and my Turkish broad, we're just going to live this rich lifestyle, but, you know, not to offend you at all. Listen, man. Listen, you should be absolutely offended. You should be absolutely offended, and you should not listen to men like Vybz Kartel. You should not listen to men like Vybz Kartel or what's the other guy? Every damn song is about adultery. Dexter Daps. You know what I'm saying? You should absolutely not listen to these men. All right, let me and even on Vybz Kartel, you know, you should be offended by the woman that he chooses. You know, they push that we should just accept all this interracial dating and this, that, and the third, but you should absolutely be offended by him picking this Turkish woman over you. All right, let me get this scripture right here in Tobit. All right, this is in the Apocrypha, the book of Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 12. I'm gonna go into the chapter because there's a few verses I want to get on this. All right, 4 and verse 12. It says, "Beware of all whoredom, my son." So it's saying, beware of whoredom. Now, not only should our sons beware of whoredom, our daughters also beware of whoredom. When you see this, beware of whoredom. Beware of anybody that's promoting you to be a whore. Beware of all whoredom. All right, and this is a whoredom that it's gonna go into. All right, this is a whoredom you should also be aware of. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers. Meaning you should take a wife of the seed of your father. You should take a wife of your own people. Before you even consider looking at some you know, you shouldn't even consider looking at some other nation. Turkey should never cross your damn mind. You got plenty of women in Jamaica. You got plenty of sisters over there in America. You know, you got a whole 12 tribes worth of women. that are from the seed of your fathers. All right, you got blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You got a whole slew of women. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can go ahead and get. But don't be taking, it says right here, and take not a strange woman to wife. Don't take no strange woman that has nothing to do with you, nothing to do with your culture, nothing to do with your struggle. Don't take this broad to wife. Don't take no strange woman to wife. Don't take no Turkish broad or no, European woman, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we are the children of the prophets. We are a royal lineage. We are a lineage of priests. You know what I'm saying? We are the children of Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who we are. That's who we are, man. It says, remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred. Our forefathers, prior to slavery and prior to learning this oppressor's culture, our forefathers all married wives of their own kindred. A black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man or woman, they would be together, man. Not looking at some, any other race because we think they so great. Because right now, we as black people, we have nothing. We have no culture. So when we see, we see African culture, we think it's so great. It's so amazing. They have togetherness and they have family. We see, the oppressor, they have a whole kingdom. They on top of the world, man. They living good. We see them and we look at they're so great. They are nothing, man. They are absolutely nothing. Even the Bible says they be like unto spittle. They are nothing according to the Bible. We are the great people. We're just in a bad state right now, but we can turn this thing around. We can turn this thing around if you stick with your own and teach your own and correct your own and come to the ISUPK and learn how to build a nation. Don't just jump ship and just get with some Turkish broad. Don't jump ship and get with some, some old Edomite, some old East Indian woman, you want to join the Nation of Islam. Good night. Don't jump ship on your nation, man. Don't jump ship on your people. All right? And we're blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit their land. So when you have, when you have togetherness, your children are blessed. When you get with any other nation, your children are either just not Israelites. If you're a sister and you get with some other nation, your children are not Israelites. They are not the children of God. You are the seed of your father. All right. When a brother gets with some other nation's woman, your children are confused. They don't know who they are. Their father's black. They come from a royal lineage, but the only culture that they know is the other nation's culture. Because really, we as black people, we don't have a culture. Our culture is just everything we see. Everything we see on the media, or everything we see and we copy and we emulate from other nations. All right. Verse 13. Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, in not taking a wife from them. When you don't take a wife of your own people, when you don't take a wife of your own brothers and your own brothers and sisters, you despise your brethren. You despise your people. When you as a black man don't take a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian woman to wife, you hate your own people and you hate yourself. You look at Vybz Kartel now. Vybz Kartel, you look at him now. I'm gonna pull the picture up. You look at him. This used to be a dark-skinned brother. This used to be a absolutely dark-skinned brother in Jamaica, but because of his mindset, because of the oppressor has given us no self-esteem, this brother hated himself to the point where he bleached his skin. He bleached his skin and got rid of that blackness of him. He got rid of it. And now it's no surprise that, he got rid of that melanin. It's no surprise he ends up with this Turkish woman because he hates his own black skin. He hates, what makes him, he hates, he hates his brethren. He hates black. So it's no surprise he ain't marry, some black woman because, he's trying to get rid, he's trying to, wash that blackness off of him. He bleached himself to appear lighter skin, man. We're going to get back into Tobit. Good night. For in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want. That lewdness, when you you just going off with some other nation because of is really just, when you get with any other nation, it's just lust. Is really sexual perverseness. The Most High created all these other races for a reason. He didn't create everybody the same. He created blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians to be with blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. He created the white man to be with the white woman to be with the white man. He created, the Africans to be with each other, the East Indians to be with each other, the Moabites and the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans to be with each other. All right. Now let me drop that. In fact, let me get this next scripture. All right. And this again is on that interracial marriage. You should not take any woman, any oppressor woman, any woman from any other nation aside from blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. All right. Even the sister said, like, it ain't nothing better than all my virtuous UPK sisters. That's a fact. That's a fact. There is nothing better on the face of this earth. Listen, if you're a brother that is struggling to get, you might be struggling to find a woman with some morals, a black, Hispanic, and Native Indian with some morals and some sense, because we as a people, we just follow this oppressor's wickedness. We follow his foolishness. All right. The Bible say the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. We follow in the wisdom of this world. The wisdom of this world tells you to unalive your own children. The wisdom of this world tells you to sell drugs to get rich. The wisdom of this world tells you to turn your sisters into whores. The wisdom of this world tells our sisters to be whores and cheat on their man and this, that, and the third. If you want to find, if you're a brother with some integrity, you join the ISUPK, you learn how to be a man of God, and then and only then would you learn how to find or be able to find, a woman of God, a woman with some morals, some integrity that will, that will stand by you for life, man, that you can desire this sister and be with her for life. And she ain't gonna spend all your money on some Birkin bag. She ain't gonna go, sleep with some other brother. She ain't gonna give you bun, as we call it, in Jamaica. She ain't gonna commit adultery on you. You know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna verbally abuse you, physically abuse you like these sisters that, really anybody that's not in the ISUPK is just some form of Christian. Them Christian women are a goddamn nightmare. Like, good night. Them Christian women, they some of the most, the worst devils. Like, good night. You see that woman at Christian church, they dress in their Sunday best, but you look what's underneath that surface, and good night. It's a horror story. It's an absolute horror story. All right, we're gonna read in this verse real quick. Nehemiah 13:25, and I contended with them and cursed them and smote certain of them and plucked up their hair. So this brother was not playing. This brother, from what he's seen, in fact, I'm gonna go into the chapter. Or I'm gonna read right here because I think it's right. The part I need is right here. All right, so I'm gonna read from verse 24, or in fact from verse 23. In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. So we saw brothers that had married other nations' women. It says, and the children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. So, you marry these other nations, your children, they don't know Hebrew. Your children don't know what you know. They don't know your culture. They know, you marry East Indian, now they know Urdu. You know what I'm saying? You marry some Chinese woman, now they know Cantonese and Mandarin. You know what I'm saying? They don't know really your language, your culture. It says, and I contended with them and cursed them and smote certain of them and plucked up their hair. This brother was not playing. The brother was not playing with seeing that interracial marriages. He ain't take that line down. He smote certain of them and plucked up their hair. Like, yo, this brother wasn't playing. And made them swear by God, saying, ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. You have brothers that, they read that Deuteronomy 7, and I think it's around 6, where it says this: you should not give your sons unto their daughters, nor give your daughters unto their sons, but they will turn your children away from following me. They say, I didn't give him unto my child. Listen, you read this verse, all right? As we're saying, don't give it unto your sons or for yourselves. All right, so that just I cuss you right there. Don't think you gonna get around the scripture by taking it for yourself, not for your son. We ain't supposed to mix. We ain't supposed to mix at all. All right. Now, let me see what I got. Now, again, so we listening to the likes of Vybz Kartel. We listening to all these dancehall artists. We listening to these R&B artists. These rappers and everything they teaching. Listen, this is how our sisters should act and how they should operate. All right, this is what we should be teaching. He talking about that Turkish women. He says some people are just good with their modest clothing. Listen, our sisters should be the example for modesty. Our sisters should be the example for everything great and everything that we love about women. Our sisters are the example. All right, we got this in 1 Timothy 2 and verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. So women, our sisters, you should not be, dressing how you dress in that club, trying to get the attention of every man and, in that damn building. You should adorn yourself with modest apparel. Only a husband should be seeing your nakedness. Only a husband should be seeing, all this, you go to the club, you see sisters with, shorts that, these days the shorts was getting higher and higher. These days the shirts barely cover. Like I seen shorts that like these is not a pair of shorts. This was a belt. This was a belt, but they were wearing that as shorts. Their whole backside is out. That's a damn belt. That's like jean. They just wearing jean underwear, and it was frayed and ripped. You know what I'm saying? You should adorn yourself in modest apparel. Only your husband should be seeing all your thighs, and you shouldn't be showing out your breasts to every brother on the street. Like, good night. In modest apparel with shamefacedness, meaning you're not just Glorilla talking about stopping at every red light and shaking a backside some headlights. Like, that's not how you should be. You should have some shamefacedness about you. You should not be just showing everything to everybody and just have no sort of shame, no sort of like no reservation about yourself. Your body is precious. Our sisters, our daughters, these are precious, man. Y'all are princesses. Y'all should not be just the state of women I see today. The likes of Sexy Red and Glorilla and all these sisters. That is, they just lost in the sauce, man. You can't be lost in the sauce like this, man. All right, with shamefacedness and sobriety. You see all them women, they go out there, they get drunk, and then good, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You could once they get drunk or they intoxicated, they smoking weed or whatever, they just do whatever. They just ready to receive anything. Like, good night. Not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. Now, does that mean you cannot have nice hair? You can't braid your hair or look pretty, or you can't wear gold, you can't wear jewelry or pearls or nice clothing? Does that mean you can't wear clothing that is nice? No, but it means that shouldn't be your main focus, is just looking beautiful and appearing, so beautiful and desirable, just dressing this way. You just want attention. It shouldn't be the focus on dressing this way to just garner so much attention and so much eyes now on you. Listen, you should have some shamefacedness about you. Now, you can look good, but you can't be just showing yourself off, man. You can't just be showing yourself off. All right. Let me get this verse over here in 1 Peter. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 3. All right, in fact, let me get, I went from verse 3, but I'm gonna get the chapter open. Get rid of this real quick. All right, 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 3. Whose adorning, so this is saying the same thing in 1 Timothy, whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold and of putting on of apparel. Meaning when you go to clothe yourself, when you're now a sister and you want to make yourself desirable, you want to clothe yourself with something. Don't let it just be the plaiting of hair, making your outward appearance look good. All right, verse 4. but let it be the hidden man of the heart, meaning let what makes you beautiful, let it be hidden. Let a brother even have to speak to you to know that, okay, this sister is beautiful. This sister has some sort of wisdom. You're not just showing your whole behind and showing your breasts and showing this, down, and third, showing every damn curve and edge to every man on the street. Your beauty is hidden. A brother has to see you and desire to speak with you in order to see that you are beautiful. All right. In that which is not corruptible, and that inside beauty, that beauty, when you're, it's gonna go into it, what that beauty is, that is not corruptible. Looks fade. Your looks will go. Your behind will get saggy. It will, your breasts, over time, gravity will get to them. Don't focus on that. They looks fade. If you're focused on just looks, you will have nothing else when those looks get corrupted by time. All right. For after, it's like in that which is not corruptible, even, meaning indeed, the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. So that's what you should adorn yourself with. You should put on an ornament. An ornament is like, you can wear a bracelet or a crown, a tiara as an ornament. That ornament that you should adorn yourself with, that you should put on yourself, is a meek, meaning humble, and a quiet spirit. That's what makes you beautiful. That is a beautiful ornament. It says here, which is in the sight of God of great price. That ornament right there, you could wear as many bracelets and, have your hair braided so nice and have the jewels in the hair and the ear and everywhere. You could look so beautiful, but you don't have this meek and quiet spirit. It's worth nothing. It's not worth anything. That's that short-term pleasure. All right. If you want to be, and it says, which is in the sight of God of great price, and the men that follow God, the men that are of God, the men that represent God, this is also of great price. If you want to be seen as something that is so valuable and so beautiful and of great price, you should wear an ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. All right. It says, for after this manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in God adorned themselves. All right, so if you say you trust in God, this is how you should adorn yourself. All right, being in subjection to their own husbands. All right, meaning allowing that brother to take rulership over you. All right, you being in subjection, you should honor and respect and serve that man like you honor and respect, and you say you serve the Most High. All right, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. Sarah obeyed her husband. Sarah submitted to her man and called him Lord. She called him Adawan. You know what I'm saying? She called him Master, which is another word for Lord. This is the spirit. This is the meek and the quiet spirit, and the submissiveness that our sisters should have. This is what we should promote in our music. This is what we should promote in, in things that we say, the things that we, all our children and all our sisters are looking at the things we do and the things we say and the women we sleep with. This is how we should, this is how our sisters should act, and this is what our brothers should show themselves that they desire. All right. Let me get whose daughters ye are, meaning you are a daughter of Sarah. You are a descendant of, this holy woman Sarah, as long as ye do well. As long as you do well, as long as you have that meek and quiet spirit, and you're not showing your behind to every brother, you're not showing your breasts to every brother on the street, as long as you do well, you have a meek and quiet spirit, you're in subjection to your husband, you submit to your husband, you know what I'm saying, and you're not afraid, and are not afraid with any amazement, meaning, you're not afraid with nobody telling you, oh, you shouldn't do this and that for your man. Why are you, you're letting him tell you, you can't wear that? You're letting him tell you you can't go out to the club with all you're letting him tell you that you can't go out on a holiday with all your single girlfriends, that girls to all sorts. You're letting him do that? No, he's controlling. He's this. He's insecure. If you listen to that, then you ain't no daughter of Sarah. You don't represent Sarah. That's not who you are. But if you do represent that, if you listen to your husband, if you submit to your man, listen to everything he says, if you find a righteous man in the ISUPK, you find these strong priests and prophets and get yourself up under him, then you are a daughter of Sarah. All right, the same way Sarah obeyed Abraham, you should obey and serve that priest and prophet in the ISUPK. You want to find a good man. Every sister talk about there's no good men left. You join the ISUPK, you will see a whole slew of good men with multiple wives, and they got room for some more. All right, no sweat. All right, with that, I think that's my time. All right, the water for everybody for tuning in. The water for y'all, for, you know what I'm saying, the engagement in the chat as well. I appreciate everybody. You know what I'm saying, the water. All right, make sure y'all tune in on Thursday. I have another topic ready. You know what I'm saying. I'm gonna get it in again. Make sure you follow in the channel. Make sure you put it, set a reminder every Monday, Thursday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. You're gonna get this revelations in. You know what I'm saying? Even it's like real-time revelations. This Nakas says submissive women in demand too. That's a fact. That's a fact. Like that China Monet song, that's the type of music we should be pushing. Now, not the music video, because the music video is a little, it's a little rough. There's one of the music videos that was real toward. She was dressed modestly. She had, modest apparel, but that one didn't blow. So she did another one, without the modest apparel, and that's what our people choose to pay attention to. That's what gets the eyes. That's what gets the views. But don't watch that. Don't watch that. Very soon, we will be in a culture where Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, the one that follow the Lord, we are ruling. And the culture of modesty, that is seen as beautiful. The culture of being a quiet sister and a humble sister, that is desired. You know what I'm saying? Don't watch all these women, shaking their behind and getting our views. Don't watch that. Don't worry about that. All right. But with that, Salaki, I already was meant to end my show. All right. But don't sweat. All right. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Barakatam to all the brothers, and Yahweh Shema Alatam Bashim Yahweh Shai to the sisters. All right. Shalom.
Let's get it. I just float with it. Fuck what you did, I'm at your throat with it. You can learn something, take a note with it. Dedicated my life, I took an oath with it. For the blood of my brothers, we don't do no switching. I run with who I run with, ain't no clicking. Try me, then you done with no decision. Lead a scene like a Mack truck with 4 collisions. Poles everywhere, but they ain't gon' vote dissing. Coming at you live and direct, I don't do no dissing.